Hello everybody, welcome back to another first impression video. Today we are talking all about the HOKA Rincon version 3. I've had this shoe for a little while, kind of just sitting in the background. I got it right at the tail end of that last build up for the half marathon, and I didn't want to break out a new shoe right at the tail end. When that was over, I thought it would be a really good time to kind of get a few runs in this. So I got 2 runs so far in the shoe. I have a 10 miler that ended up being like a little bit of a progression run just because I was feeling really good and excited about the shoe. It was 10 miles right at about that 650. I got my little cheat sheet here. 653s over 10 miles. And then the second run I got out a 9-mile run. And that one was a little bit more of a workout. It was 6 by 3 minutes at half marathon target pace. So kind of that 550, 555 range is kind of where they all felt very good, felt very confident in that shoe. So I got 19 miles in the Rincon 3. I'm not new to the Rincon. This actually, the Rincon will hold a special place to me for a long time. The Rincon 1 is actually the first shoe I got when I was making a transition from cycling to running. When Anina was pregnant, so she was starting to run, so we would go out. I needed something with some cushion to really baby my legs. Coming from a non-impact sport like cycling to running, I was okay with high volume. Cardiovascular wise, endurance training, I was there. I was good. I had a good engine. My body was not ready for the running, so I wanted to make sure that was a very smooth and easy transition. And the Rincon 1, maybe not the perfect shoe for that, but it was great. Let's just get into this one a little bit. I'll kind of tell you that story another day. So that's why the Rincon 1 will always have a special place for me. So this one is different. It has some similarities that I really enjoy and some differences that I'm liking. Give you some specs on the Rincon version 3. So the weight of the shoe, I did see a little discrepancy here. So Running Warehouse had it at 7.3. On Hoka's website was 7.7 ounces. The heel stack is 33 mils in the heel and 28 millimeters in the forefoot, giving it a 5 millimeter offset. The upper is an engineered mesh with its lightweight and highly breathable. The midsole is full compression EVA, increased impact protection and stability, early stage meta rocker geometry. The outsole is full ground contact, strategic high abrasion rubber. We'll talk a little bit more about that. The fit I found, I did go true to size. I did go my normal size. I felt like that was right on. It is medium to narrow, so if you're familiar with Hoka, they do tend to run just that tiny bit narrow, but I found it to be completely adequate with plenty of room for kind of to fit different foot widths with the laces. So I felt that was fine. No issues there. The ride was firmer than I remember, firmer than the previous versions. It is very, very smooth with that early stage meta rocker and very efficient. Super lightweight on foot, feels really good with that high stack. Coming in at $115 from both Running Warehouse and Hoka's website. We have all these pros: lightweight, high stack, a neutral runner. It's a little firmer than I remember the other ones being, so I do think that there is some changes with this midsole. So it looks very similar, but on foot it is firmer. It is a definite firmer landing. So I think what we're gonna get out of this shoe is some extra miles. Now, they've tackled that before. You can see already 20 miles, we're already getting some wear in this exposed EVA. Now, I'm a midfoot striker, so I'm landing right there, kind of, a little bit, but we do have some nice rubber placements in the forefoot, as well as this high abrasion area, that tends to get some wear there in the heel. And I've just found it to be a really, really good feel. So with that a little bit firmer of a ride, I think it's going to extend the wear of that EVA, and the rubber place on the outsole is going to extend it, because that is the big drawback of the Rincon. It just doesn't tend to go as long as we would like it to. It's got an excellent price at $115. It's really, really hard to beat. It's very versatile of a shoe, that lightweight feel and fit, the neutral feel to it. I do like the little bit wider platform that Hoka gives you to really kind of get a very nice, firm, square landing when you're in your foot strike. I kind of just found myself wanting to pick up the pace. So it didn't give you a free speed, you know, but that early stage meta rocker, that lightweight design, it just encourages you to run quick. So that could be problematic if you're going out on an easy run. It's definitely not an easy run day shoe. You could probably bop along on it if you're just very conscious and checking in with the watch maybe, or checking in with yourself. How's the breathing? How's the heart rate going? I just found it to be an excellent ride. It encouraged me to kind of extend the run. I was very happy in that 10 miler, and I did notice it was firm those first few miles, and I was like, oh man, this is not the Rincon I remember. But even in that very first run, I would say by mile 6, 7, and 8, definitely it was starting to open up and breathe a little bit. Not in a way of breaking down. I just think just that breaking, I don't even want to say breaking in, because in 7 miles you're not going to get that, but it just was breathing and just kind of like I was ready and used to that shoe already. So I was very impressed with the Rincon. The laces of the shoe are excellent. They have a little bit of elasticity in them. They give you a little bit of stretch, but not so much where it's hard to tie the shoe. The tongue is very breathable. Just that little bit of padding, which is very, very nice. Not gusseted at all. And I think that would be an improvement. Just giving that I don't even think a full gusset, just a semi-gusset tongue, just to kind of help it keep it in place. I didn't get a lot of movement, really much at all, over the runs, which was fine. It was just a teeny bit short. It didn't give me any problems either. Even with the runners not here, you can see I kind of do that little extra loop just to kind of help that lockdown feel. You do get a bit of a substantial heel for a lightweight shoe, but it's really nice, very, very soft, kind of high. I do think they're doing this notch where we've seen a lot of the other models kind of go to that heel flare, and I kind of like that. I think that would be a nice addition maybe in the next 1 or 2 iterations of the shoe. The breathability of the shoe is spot on. I don't think it needs to change at all there. I was very, very happy with that. HOKA colors, you're always going to love them or hate them. I kind of like this one. I flipped through some of the other models that I liked a few, didn't care for a few, so that's personal preference, and I think they offer a good amount of selection, so you're going to be able to find something that you really like. This pull tab is, I don't know, useful. I think after a handful of pulls, you might yank this thing right off, but that's okay. Yeah, let me know. Are you a pull tab person or not? Do you need one? Do you like one? I don't really care if it has one or not. I'm a little bit kind of worried about this high wear in 19 miles, but that's HOKA, and I really have to kind of wrap my mind around it that, you know, I saw that in the Mach 4, I saw that in previous Rincon models, and they'll go. You just have to kind of trust the shoe and check in with the shoe and the ride of the shoe whenever, you know, is it really starting to break down? Are we getting some really good creasing here? Does it feel flat, dead, kind of not responsive? Does it not feel like it once did? Kind of keep checking in with that. I don't know that more rubber would be good for this, because more rubber means more weight, and I don't know how you're going to shave extra weight. They could, maybe pulling out some of this heel structure, but I think that's one of what I like about the shoe. There is a nice little decouple here almost, or a little, you know, just pulling some extra material out of the sole. I think that helps keep the weight down, and it also kind of lets the back of the shoe kind of flex or breathe a little bit on the foot strike. It was nice for me. I really, really enjoyed the shoe. How do I see myself using this shoe? This is a perfect tempo day shoe. If you want to go out and just crank out some miles at that little bit quicker of a pace, this is fantastic. You have that nice high stack and high cushion, but it's not too soft and too squishy where it's going to slow you down and where you really kind of sink into the shoe. This is really nice and going to help with that. I think intervals, but be careful on which kind. The 3x3 minutes was great. I think you could go up to a mile. If I'm going much longer than that, I probably am going to go with like more of like a carbon plated shoe, really getting some good mile repeats or something. Even quicker or shorter, I guess, on the intervals would be fine, but I might go to something even lighter yet. So I think this is a perfect tempo day shoe, long run shoe, just to kind of be very steady. I think this thing just excels at steady paces. So with those longer intervals, you're going to run a nice steady pace. I think this just is a good option for that. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, so that kind of is just the first impression. I will be getting some more miles into the Rincon 3, and when I do kind of maybe at that 50-mile mark, 100-mile mark, see how things are going, I really want to check in on that wear and see how that is doing. So my prediction in that is probably 250, 300. That might be pushing the exposed EVA. I think that rubber is going to do just fine, but we'll see how that holds up. So thank you so much for staying tuned in all the way to the end of the video. It really helps me out. If you like this kind of content, go ahead and click the like button, subscribe if you are not already, and then that bell icon to get notified every time I release a new video. Thank you so much for sharing this content with your friends and your fellow runners. It helps me out. We are growing slowly but surely. It's a new channel, and I'm just excited to bring new content to you guys. We do have another first impression video in the works, as well as that Stride foot pod. We had a little bit of a development. That's why it is not the next video and opposed to this one. I wanted to reach out to Stride and see what their thoughts are. So that is why it is on pause. I wanted to hear back from them before I release my final thoughts on it to you guys. So thank you so much for staying tuned in all the way to the end. It means so much. So as always, go forward in power, love, and a sound mind, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.